I'll say at the outset, I'm not going to end with breaking news today. I do not want to be remembered just as the Rotary president whose parting thought at the end of the weekly meetings was breaking news. I do not want that to be a legacy. I do want to be remembered for other things. So this week I will start with breaking news. And that will be it. In breaking news, a report by the International Olympic Committee that athletes indulge in too much sex before meetings have been hotly denied by the runner Carl Lewis of the United States. He went on to win the 100 metres sprint in a time of 1 hour 24 minutes. Last year when I started this job, you may remember I looked back through history at some of the most famous inauguration speeches. If you search the internet, you'll know that I pinched bits from Barack Obama, Yasser Arafat, and Trevor Mallard. So now as I embark on my valedictory speech as president, I thought I should look back through the best examples of farewell speeches. I thought I'd start with Pope Benedict, but there's no balcony here at the James Cook Hotel Grand Chancellor. Sir Keith Holyoake, who had 2 valedictories, one as Prime Minister and one as Governor General. Well, they were excellent, but they were typed on a typewriter and it would have been too time-consuming to copy and paste them. I looked through Aaron Gilmore's speech in Parliament. Peter Dunne was reluctant to offer any suggestions. Saddam Hussein's was too brief. I looked at my predecessor James Austin. That was usefully longer and was really, really good. But I see he's here today, so I can't use that. I have to say his departure speech, as was his presidency, is a hard act to follow. As I must say, Colleen Singleton's time before him. I'll say more about James before I finish. James is at the President's table today, as is Bev Wakeham, who was one of my sponsors when I joined over 20 years ago. Ulf Accius is also at the President's table. I owe a lot to Ulf, who's quietly promoted and supported me in many ways behind the scenes in Rotary. Thank you, Ulf. Rotary is like that. I owe much as a Rotarian and in my community career to the late Sir Roy Mackenzie. And I'm passionate about embracing, supporting and encouraging the young in this Rotary Club. As I said a year ago, the future of Rotary lies in making sure our young members become part of the engine of this club, that they become part of the running of the club, that they're put into positions in the wider Rotary district and Rotary nationally. And I mean nationally, not regionally, because as we approach the centenary of Rotary, I would like to see the younger members of this club be ready as Rotary moves from its district structure to what I see as a logical and sensible succession to one national structure. Rotary needs to make that move, and by the time this club and New Zealand Rotary reaches its centenary, such a move will further clarify and sharpen the organisation's profile, empowering it better to stand tall alongside other national charity and fundraising entities and as a major social force in New Zealand. I sensed around the time I was nominated to be president that some Rotarians needed reassurance as to whether I would have time to be president. I'm not semi-retired or working part-time or single. I'm still in full-time employment, as have been many presidents of this club. I hope my time as president has demonstrated, especially to the younger members of the club, that you can aspire to be president without having to wait until you're retired, semi-retired, finished with playing sport and with children grown up. This club will need you sooner than you might think. I need to thank so many people. I need to thank all of you really, because you have all been so encouraging, so helpful. Because of you, the job has been fun. And I could not have wished for a better comment than that of our past president, James, at the last board meeting when he said it's been a very happy year for the club. I've been fortunate to be president of other organisations. Let me tell you, this is the best. There are some people I need to mention especially in gratitude. Karen Dukas for her role as Honorary Secretary. She's also done a sterling job of scheduling the 5-minute talks, which have been some of the most interesting addresses we've had in the club. Wayne Morgan for the huge amount of time he's put into his role as Treasurer, moving us onto a new accounting system, which has made big savings for the club. I want to thank him too for the full reports he's given each month at the board meetings. To Tony Hassett, as Club Services Director, for all that involves in ensuring the club, and particularly the lunch organisation, runs smoothly, from the invocation from Denzel Brown's care to the speakers programme under Marion Cowden, to the greeters, to Bob Stannard's role on the reception desk, the sergeants and the president's table. Duncan MacDonald has done a great job scheduling sergeants, and I know at times it's presented challenges. George Fairbairn, our almoner, quietly and with great compassion and kindness, has looked after those club members who've had health and other issues. Thank you too, George, for your splendid stewardship of the Advisory Committee of the J Island Trust, and also to the members of that Advisory Committee. Tracy Brown has continued to work hard on our fundraising efforts and has succeeded in raising our revenue, I think about 30% above what was a glorious $100,000 the previous year. Fundraising in this climate is not an easy job, and Tracy and her team have served us really well. Gerald McGee has reinvigorated our international efforts with a grand and much needed dental program in Papua New Guinea. Thank you, Gerald. Karen Thomas has led a new generations team which has worked hard and well. Community service. A big part of Rotary's focus has been led superbly by Joan Smith, with new initiatives being explored as our current funding arrangements near their conclusion. Membership has seen a steady stream of new Rotarians. Peter Cornish, thank you very much for all your efforts in leading your team in this. It's up to all of us to nurture, to look after our new members and to ensure they're made to feel totally at home. It's always disappointing when we lose members, but I'm pleased to say that all left this year because of commitments elsewhere in New Zealand and the world, or they've simply retired out of Wellington. There are between 6 potential members, I understand, in the pipeline, and I look forward to seeing them in the next few weeks. Members join an organisation for many reasons. Whatever reasons they have, there's one thing most expect, and that is fellowship and to have good times and fun. Donna, as chair of the Fellowship Committee, Donna Dentis, has presided over an organisation of an amazing array of events to appeal to a range of tastes. Thank you, Donna. This club is a very busy one socially, which is good, seeing it's a very busy one in terms of workload. And that brings me to vocational. Another great Rotary venture, and apart from the excellent program of visits to members' workplaces, vocational has a huge job in organising and, with your help, running the annual Rotary Forum. Richard Norman and his team continue to work hard on this. They will need a lot of help from you in the coming weeks. I want to mention at this point the Communications Director, Fraser Carson, who's done so much to keep Rotary's name out there. His partnership deal with Fairfax for the forum was a real coup. And so on to the other huge project this club is involved in, and that of course is Eureka. We've talked about that just a moment ago. The Sir Paul Callaghan Awards for Young Science Orators, the brainchild of Francis Weavers. Francis, you've done a phenomenal amount of work to develop this into a huge national success. This club and I as president are hugely indebted to you, Francis. It's a huge flagship for the club. Francis, thank you too for what seems like an almost 24-hour commitment to managing the website, always looking for new and more effective ways to better communicate the Rotary brand and message. The payment feature on the website is an example of added value to the website, and we have to thank you for that. And we look forward to the Rotary Club of Wellington smartphone app in the next few months. I know it'll be better than the international one. It doesn't even have our club on it. Now look, I can't claim credit for any of these wonderful things that have happened over the past year, but I'm proud it's happened on my watch, as it were. There are so many others I should be mentioning. Dennis Kicaldi for his assistance to the J. Islet Trust and also to the Wellington Rotary Charitable Trust, the trust members, and Peter Lawson, who has taken over as chair. I have left two mentions of gratitude to last, two special mentions. I've been extraordinarily lucky to have started my term not long after our administrator Rebecca did. Rebecca, you are a gem. You've quickly assimilated great detail and effortlessly become a huge asset in the day-to-day management of this club. We're very lucky to have you. Thank you. And you, James Austin, as past president, you've always been there for me when I've sought advice or have wanted to sound off. James, thank you for your counsel, your unwavering support and friendship. And I'd like to thank Jo, my wife, for all the behind-the-scenes support she has given me. Useful advice and encouragement and admonishment when it's been necessary. One of the four-way test principles which I learnt in my father's office, looking into his Rotary four-way test ashtray of the 1960s, was it the truth? Well, it wasn't. I said earlier that I would not do breaking news at the end. I lied. I have one more breaking news. In an interview with Rotary Down Under, the outgoing president of the Rotary Club of Wellington, broadcaster Hewitt Humphrey, said he'd had a charmed year leading the premier New Zealand Rotary Club, and his broadcasting career had also been a wonderful experience. However, articles in other publications have revealed that Hewitt Humphrey's life has not always been so charmed. Women's Day reported in the 70s that the broadcaster had confessed concern to a reporter that he was losing his hair. A few weeks later, Women's Day reported that after he'd started losing his hair, he'd bought a book on hair care, and all the pages fell out. Some people have said to me that the lines on my face, my wrinkles, have increased over my year. And I have said to them, no, they're laughter lines. But as the past President's Committee said, nothing's that funny. Tony, you will have a great time as President. If I have any advice, it would be to take people with you, take past presidents with you. And perhaps this is not Fonterra or Toyota, it's a Rotary Club. You will have fun. We're here to do good things, be an influence for good, and at the same time have fun. So, fellow Rotarians and visiting aliens alike, last year I said as your captain, I have no intention of letting you down. We're about to embark on what I'm confident will be a fun-filled journey. I hope you think that I've left your Rotary Club in good shape and in a good frame of mind. So before I land this Rotary 737, can I ask that you ensure that your luggage is placed back in the locker overhead or under the seat in front of you, that your electronic devices are switched off and your tray table is folded away. Thank you for flying with me. Thank you. Tony, we move forward into an even more modern era from this day on, when people arrive on the planet, when people arrive in New Zealand, when people arrive in Wellington, and when people arrive at a Rotary meeting. When you arrive at this Rotary meeting, you can ask, take me to your leader. Here he is, the new president of the Rotary Club of Wellington, Tony Hassett. Thank you. I've also got to give you a Rotary pin, and I think this, there you go. I put mine through my lapel, through my buttonhole, because I've got so many badges. Have you got a buttonhole there?
No, it's a cheap suit.
Now, I'm going to hand everything over to Tony now. It's his ship, it's his aircraft, and have fun all who sail and fly on it.
Thank you.